All right, got another Dashcast. You get a Dashcast, I get a Dashcast. I'm like Oprah, everybody gets fucking Dashcast. And I'm sitting here right now. I'm taking my 30-minute break. We have some interesting things to talk about. One in particular, which was it now, Chucky Ducky? What was the topic, the silly topic that you wanted to talk about?
Today's silly topic is common and uncommon sense. So, you have common sense, which is just regular sense. It's just regular common sense. It's easy. Then you have uncommon sense, which means you don't have common sense.
Okay, I'm gonna have to light a cigarette for this one.
Oh, you do
and
that.
I usually don't even smoke. Okay, listen. Uncommon sense.
Come on.
All right. But so uncommon sense doesn't mean that it's not good sense. It still makes sense. Just because it's not common doesn't mean it can't make sense. It's just people don't know about it yet.
But that's when you put the word uncommon sense means it doesn't make sense at all. Common
is that a cigarette?
Yeah, that is a cigarette. That is a cigarette.
This is
Are you sure?
American Spirit.
The special kind of cigarette?
Yeah, it doesn't have additives or whatever. But the reason I got them specifically is because I was trying to stop vaping, and it's like, I wanted to get a cigarette that isn't that great, that kind of tastes like rope a little bit, but not as bad as hemp cigarettes, because those things are fucking gross, and I'm never going to fucking buy those again. Don't buy hemp cigarettes. Just don't. It's a terrible idea. I thought it would be fun. It was not fun. What I'm saying is the common sense, just because it's not common, doesn't mean it can't make sense.
Oh, no. If it's uncommon sense, then it doesn't make sense at all. It's not a different form of making sense. It doesn't make sense. You have uncommon sense.
But it's common because it makes sense, because a lot of people perceive it to make sense, so that's why it's common, because it makes sense. Everybody understands that it makes sense. But if it's uncommon, then it doesn't mean that it's like doesn't make sense. Just people haven't realized it makes sense yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's just talking about how many people practice said common sense.
But that begs the question then. If it's common sense, does it have to make sense?
If it's common sense, yes, it has to make sense, because normally common sense in general makes sense.
I'm like challenging like pre-written rules.
Uncommon sense does not make any sense at all.
Uncommon sense. No.
What do you have a take on this?
No.
Well,
you're kind of blowing my mind. I thought this was really simple at the beginning, and now I'm having a meltdown.
I think every one of our Dashcasts is going to start off with a meltdown and then smoothly just transition into things that start to make more sense. More common sense, I guess you could say.
If you break it up into two different words, common talks about how many people are doing it. Sense, you can't have it's the first word is not degrading the second word. Sense is still sense. So it doesn't necessarily mean somebody's going to be correct always. It's just what is most reasonable, I guess, is another word to use. So
it's perceived to be most reasonable, because it does not imply that it doesn't make sense. It's just saying it's not common.
Are you going to go into talking about hard solipsism and shit?
Solipsism? It only makes sense to me because it's fucking not real. Anyway, everything's not real but me. Okay, so I get we guys want to move on from this. There's an interesting thing that happened yesterday, and now to get serious, and not too serious because we're not serious enough. This is
like so many people do. Let's just not do that, okay? Because everybody will literally tone their entire podcast down to like talking about serious death shit. Let's just talk about it for the joke that it is. It's fucking the U.S. flexing its muscles.
Let's get on the topic here. The topic is that we just killed a major Iranian general that's sort of like, I would think, if like a missile was launched into the United States or whatever, and hello NSA, I know you're watching now. If they just launched a missile into wherever Mike Pompeo was with a bunch of people and just fucking, it's sort of like that. It would be a big deal. We would be up in arms immediately if that happened, right? So it's like, well, I say we, I mean, I really wouldn't give a fuck anyway. For that particular person, let's just say, I guess, you know, say what you will about that, about me. But anywho, it's a big deal. And this isn't just like some proxy war that we just launch a missile at some like Iranian proxies or whatever in Syria. Like, this is on Iranian territory. Not Iranian territory. Well, no, sorry. I fucked that up. This is actually in Iraq that this happened. Matter of fact, I'm going to do us a whole lot of justice and pull up the article here. And I can screen share. So let me screen share.
I'm pretty sure it's Iran.
No, it didn't happen in Iran. It happened in Iraq. So, but here's the article. And this is
But it was an
CBS.
Iranian dude.
So an Iranian dude was in Iraq, and we killed him.
Who was in Iranian? He was talking to some other people there, and other people got killed, and he got killed. I believe. So, article states, and this is from CBS, mainstream shit. Big topics here. What you need to know about President Trump ordered, and this is straight out of the Pentagon, ordered the airstrike in Baghdad that killed I hope I said this name right. Qasim hold on a minute. Let me just slow down. Soleimani.
You got the article up. I'm
anyway,
sure anybody will be able to see it.
They can see it. I just want to pronounce. I can't. He's the head of the state's elite Quds military force and one of the most powerful figures in the Islamic Republic. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said that Soleimani, butchering the hell out of that, was killed in response to imminent threats of American lives, he said. The strike drew a vow of, quote, crushing revenge from Iran. Lawmakers are divided over the airstrike, with Republicans applauding Trump's action and Democrats warning about the possible repercussions. The State Department told Americans in Iraq to leave the country immediately. So this was definitely committed by America. Like, there's no question about it. The Pentagon ordered it. Trump signed on it. He made it happen. And so what this article states, it says here, the Defense Department blamed Soleimani for the deaths of hundreds of Americans. And he said he was behind recent attacks on the coalition bases in Iraq, including one on December 27th that killed an American defense contractor. Oh no! Someone from Raytheon who makes money off of bombing fucking people died. Wow. What a horrible fucking tragedy. Is that this strike was aimed to deterring future Iranian attack plans, Pentagon said. So, this is pretty big
I really
deal.
can't say anything about like their true intentions. I know everybody wants to say like Trump is just trying to start a war. I mean, it is coming up to that time where it would be pretty pleasant for him to have another war going on, but I don't know. This is why I stay out of foreign affairs. It's just such a big fucking tangled up mess of fucking lies. I don't even think they can keep track of all the fucking lies. So I don't even try to fucking sift through it. I'm sure it has something to do with fucking money and has nothing to do with what they're trying to say it's about. But
yeah, it just seems really sloppy, you know. It just the fact that they've done this, and now it's all over major media as well, and so everybody has the internet. This isn't like back when George W. Bush invaded Iraq. I mean, there were a lot of people who were against that, like Bernie Sanders was, but of course we have information at our fingertips at all times now. So everyone fucking knows how this started, and it was sloppy as fuck. It's just like, let's go murder this major person in Iran that everybody respects in Iran. And let's just, and they know, it even says in here, it says 9,000 U.S. forces currently in the region and 3,000 more ready to deploy. Troops are now preparing for the possible retaliation and are on high alert. They fucking know. They know there's going to be some shit. They know they started some shit. They did this shit on fucking purpose. They know the Iran's going to retaliate. And they did this shit anyway. Like, so they wanted to fucking start a war. That's exactly what they did.
I guess I could go as far as saying that, yeah. I sound like an ignorant asshole, but like I did hear we were like funding that group, were we not? Did you hear anything about that? Like we had been giving them money to fight another force in the area.
The Kurds?
Oh fuck, dude.
That's a Kurdish forces that were in Syria. This is in Iraq though, but we had the Kurds that were trying to be sovereign, and they wanted to be in Syria and have their own territory there. And so we just kind of like gave them weapons, and they guarded our oil fields and shit. Like, and they were just expecting us to just like be nice about it. I don't know. I think it was a mistake on them. But yeah, this whole thing, and it says here on the article, the oil prices surge, and you can expect that as well. You know, when shit like this happens, like anytime we go and attack these fucking like countries like Iran, if we sanction them more, oil prices go up. You know, that's less oil that's coming out of there. That's more oil coming out of Saudi Arabia. And this is, I guarantee, I think this, and you know how much Trump is like in bed with Saudi Arabia. This is, I guarantee this is like their idea. This is probably, I don't know for sure, but I'm just like thinking like, yeah, this is something like the Saudi government was like, this is what you have to do. And then Trump just fucking did it anyway because he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so aggravating. It's all up to speculation. It's also hidden. It's also so many competing interests and all of this. I could definitely see Syria being a player in all of it, but I have no fucking clue, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm like eating soup right now. All right. It's a fake gumbo, Campbell's gumbo. And I threw some Cheez-Its in it too because I don't have any crackers. It's not that bad actually. So it's just the way that I see it is like they knew. I don't think they knew to a degree how much people would be seeing it, because of course you see on Fox News right now they're talking about it. I know this from someone else who's been watching because their dad watches Fox News, that they've been like, oh yeah, well we had to like kill this fucking guy because they had, you know, Iran attacked our embassy. I don't even think it was. I think it was some people who supported Iran's militias, but it wasn't. There's like Iraqis are fucking pissed because the country's in fucking shambles over there. Like, get the fuck out of our country. Like the Iranian guards themselves, not the Iranian, the Iraqi guards that were guarding the embassy there, let the crowd in. Like, yeah, like the people are pretty upset, and they just went in there, stormed the embassy, and were like, hey, fucking quit it. You know?
I mean, you can't even like. You already know what the Fox News people are going to be saying, or just conservatives in general. I mean, they can't even start from the beginning and ask whether or not our intentions or it had something to do with us. They always presume that we had some innocence in it, or that what we were doing was necessary for like democracy or some shit. And so yeah, I mean, I don't even have to know anything about this to see all the trolls on Facebook just going crazy about how great Trump did for standing up to who knows fucking what. They have no fucking clue what is going on.
Yeah, I mean, just say, well, this is defending democracy. I mean, they know they started a war, which is exactly why they have so many troops there. like in response to it, you know, evacuating Americans out of the region. Like, of course, who gives a shit about the actual people who, like, the people who live there? Like, they're just innocent, like, collateral damage. Like, whatever happens, happens. Hey, you were in the way. I mean, that just describes Iraq. But Jesus fucking Christ, like, Iran is like 4 times or 5 times that. Like, this whole thing, if this goes down, if Iran decides to really retaliate, of course we're going to respond back, and it's just going to be a fucking domino effect. Like, this is going to be much, 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 much worse than Iraq ever was. It's going to dwarf that. Like, of course, you're going to get pull fucking Russia into this. Like, this is a world fucking war. It's not good, I must say.
Shit.
Chuck, what are your thoughts on this?
Say what?
What are your thoughts on this, Chuck?
Yeah, my thoughts on this are just, it's ridiculous. It's just, presidents do this shit all the fucking time. It happens. They're just doing it so they can get reelected. That's what they're doing. Because they know if you're in a war, more than likely, more people are gonna vote for the same president to keep them in, so that way they can. What is that sound?
That's me, because I'm slurping soup out of my bowl, and so I have to move my microphone up. So I'll stop doing that.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta pull over here for a second. My fucking
This story and like the embassy they're connected, aren't they? Or they're not?
Hey, what?
Again, I sound like such a fucking ignorant asshole, but like, is the embassy story and the killing of the high official, are those connected?
Yeah, well, that's why they did it. Because they stormed the embassy. But that wasn't even like Iranis that did that. They were just Iraqi civilians that were like supporting Iranian militias that were being targeted. You know.
I swore I heard something about this like the first year that Trump was president too. Like, he let a bunch of fucking Navy SEALs die, and they were trying to make that into like a Benghazi type deal back then. But I think they were down in fucking like South Africa or some shit. Yeah, it's the way I'm kind of seeing it now. Is just the way they went about it was very sloppy. I think we know their intentions, and their intentions are, all right, you know, I think it might have more to do with the economy than it does the election. I mean, of course, if you look at Donald Trump's tweets that he actually put out when Obama was president, he said Obama is going to start a war with Iran to get reelected as president. So you could look back at what's happening right now as, Trump, you know? Like, you could do that. I think there might be an element to that he wants, you know, because incumbent presidents usually in the middle of a war stays president. But also the economy's like on the brink right now. And part of the reason we went to Iraq to go in there, because 2008, right, was just about to happen, and it did. And so war is generally a good way to make money. So I think that they're kind of running out of options here, and they just see war. Okay, yeah, that's what we know. We know war best. It's a military fucking police state that we have. Let's go fucking Iran. Like, I think it's probably many things, but it's just amazing to me how sloppy they were in this whole process. Like, this is not going to be good for Trump. I really don't think it is. Like, you know, some people say, like, well, of course, like, you know, incumbent presidents, when they're in a war, this is really bad. Like, this is a really bad way to kick off a war. Everyone sees it. They know what he did. You know, like, you shoot a missile at a high-level leader in Iran that has a high level of respect in the country. It just really does. Of course they're going to respond. Like, of course, everyone knows. And nobody wants war, especially when you fucking provoke it yourself.
You know, like I don't think this is going to come out very favorably for him at all.
I think you have way too much faith in like the general public. I really don't think they care. We're like in 100 different fucking nations. We're in like 7 major fucking wars right now. We literally trample over people's fucking rights all the fucking time, and they just go on with their fucking daily lives. I do not think they're gonna be placing their vote dependent on the consequences that are happening to other countries. Unless it's happening to them, I doubt anybody fucking gives a shit. Especially Republicans. Republicans are fucking having a fucking heyday. They didn't fucking care when fucking Trump and all the goddamn Republicans put out a $730 billion defense budget. They're loving this shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a way that Republicans look at this thing. Because, I mean, part of the reason why people like Trump, like, because he was criticizing Bush over Iraq. He started a war with it. So Trump was like getting on Hillary about starting wars. That was one reason I think a lot of Republicans, right? He's basically taken what Obama has done and just increased the presence in those regions. Like, it's just not as like up front because the news is so consistent. But we've never actually had like a brand new war. And you know, if you look at like people who, you know, the polling on like people who support Afghanistan, it was like a 13% want us to be there. I think this is like in the general metrics of it, and just the optics alone. And just if you look at the way the media right now is perceiving this, and the media is more so on the side of like, and not Fox News, obviously. Fox News is all in on it, but the mainstream aspect, which I'm surprised to see, is they're like, oh, this is going to start some shit. He shouldn't have done this way. But of course, they kind of have that other side where they're like, oh, but he was a terrible person, etc. Like, it's probably good he's dead, but we shouldn't have done it that way. That's kind of what the media is doing currently. But yeah, I don't think people are going to perceive this very positively. I think as far as the impeachment, I think the impeachment helped Trump, but I think this will definitely negatively impact him. And especially goes against Bernie Sanders. If Bernie Sanders gets fucking nominated, like, he's going to be one talking about no war. It's not looking good for him. This is really sloppy.
I still think it's a very low sec. You ask people what are the most important issues to them. It's not war. It's always something that pertains to their everyday fucking lives that they are worried about more. And they will vote. Republicans and Democrats will both vote depending on something that affects their everyday lives before they will ever care about somebody else halfway around the fucking world.
Yeah, I think Red Freight's got a good point right there.
Not only that, but the news cycle, how it replaces every fucking day. Trump is a fucking master at that. He's the dumbest motherfucker on earth, but he is a master at getting the fucking news story to go to something else. The media doesn't stick on things like they fucking should. They never talk about anything of substance on like usually, so I don't see why they would make it a sticking point to say let's stop covering whether or not Trump just said something about black people that was inflammatory instead of talking about war. They never fucking talk about war. They don't talk about anything that affects the fucking ruling class.
I feel you on that, but I'm just thinking this is raising the stakes a bit. You know, because if you look at the way like the media portrays war on a consistent basis, it's usually the same thing. Like we've been in Iraq not Iraq, but in Afghanistan for as long as the lives of people who are fighting in Afghanistan, who are deployed there. We've been there so fucking long that it's like when there's a news story about it in Afghanistan, we're like, yeah, whatever. Like, I'm not paying attention to that. It just, but like getting into a brand new war with like because everybody knows how disastrous the war in Iraq was. Everybody knows that. There's a huge disapproval rating over it. So if we're talking about a brand new war, and not just like the same imperialism that we've been doing that's on the news that nobody cares about. I think that this is a new thing. It's an actual war. It's concrete, and that there's actual the media is kind of allowing a discussion about it, which is very odd. And I think the reason why they're allowing is because it was done so sloppily. Because you can't really convince people we're there for a good reason because we just attacked one of their major leaders there. When we know that they're going to retaliate negatively as a consequence of it. I'm just saying, I think just the optics of it, and that this isn't just normal imperialism. Like, this is a brand new Iraq war. So, and that's why I don't think it's going to do very good for him, no matter how much he tries to spin it. You know, that's just me.
See, dude, it's not that far. Like, there's still a lot of fucking time for election time. So much shit can happen. Way too fucking early to be saying this is gonna affect something that happens that far away.
It would be interesting, and it would be interesting to see how the Democratic field, the presidents, between Bernie Sanders, Biden, Warren, Buttigieg, and all of them, what they have to say about this. Because we all know what Tulsi's gonna fucking say. She's the anti-war. That's all she cares about. But Bernie Sanders in scope. So when he talks about it, I want to hear him say yeah, we just shouldn't be in any wars. Just simple, right to the point. Let's not do war. You don't have to get into, because one thing Warren that said, when I looked at a tweet that she fucking said, and it was oh yeah, well, of course the guy was a terrible person, and he killed millions and millions of people or whatever.
0183.
Oh, he's at work.
6608 Grub Hill Transport.
This is a part of the Dashcast. This is happening right now.
I bet 53.
Yeah, well, I had to stop and clear my fucking wipers because it's fucking snowing right now.
All right,
yeah, I
thank
see
you.
you do that. All right, gonna finish my point. I saw Warren make a comment about the fucking guy that we killed there, and she was like, oh yeah, he was a terrible person. Terrible person, killed billions of people or whatever the fuck. And then she was like, oh yeah, but war is a bad idea. Well, guess what? When you become president, if you become president, I don't think she will, but if she becomes president, do you think that you're going to make good diplomacy having that on your record with the country that you're trying to stop a war with? When you just said that the person that we just fucking murdered it was probably a good thing that he's dead? No. I don't, because I don't take Warren seriously on that matter, but Bernie cannot fucking say that. He cannot just say oh yeah, of course the guy was a fucking murderer or whatever the fuck. That's not good for diplomatic relations with a country that you're trying to avoid a fucking war with, you know? It just seems to me a lot of these fucking candidates try to appease the fucking CIA, and it's fucking stupid.
Are you driving down 57? Why the fuck is your...
I'm driving up 57 right now.
Makes sense. Are you in your dead spot?
I'm currently not at a dead spot as I am currently on here.
Gotcha.
No, I got past my dead spot a while ago.
Oh, I don't think Warren has a chance anymore, so I don't really give a fuck. But
all right.
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
I wanted to bring up one other thing. Goes on what we were talking about with the drug tests.
Did you
Nevada
find anything about it?
just abolished. The state of Nevada just abolished drug tests against marijuana.
For what? For
For,
drivers? For
for
regular
so
people?
all unemployment, I believe.
No shit.
Yeah.
They can't test for marijuana in Nevada now.
Damn.
That federally, what is Warren's stance on marijuana? Like, I know Bernie would fucking put it through federally, but does
Warren,
she have
I have no
anything?
idea. I don't even think she spoke on it. I really have no idea.
Well, I'm sure she's toeing the line, saying nobody should be in fucking jail for it, but
Yeah, the non-violent drug offenders and stuff.
right.
I mean, that's just a no-brainer. But yeah, I mean, I like the idea of like not having, like doing that. Just like you can't drug test for marijuana because I mean we said it on our last Dashcast. Like, there's so many negative implications to that.
Yeah.
You know, and if it's going to be eventually, I mean, it's probably going to be fucking legalized federally. I
don't know,
think that's
dude.
going to happen.
You're cutting the fuck out.
Yeah, you are.
But second off, yeah, I mean, this shit's killing me. Fucking legalize it federally already. Fuck all the states' rights. Let's get moving.
All right. Can you hear me better now by any chance?
Bongs in every truck.
There we go. Let's do it. Holy shit, the snow just got fucking big. Golly.
God damn, dude.
Dude, this is a shitstorm over here.
Are you still in
Dude, that
North
looks
Dakota?
like shit. Dude, that's some like ice road trucker shit right in front of you.
I know. I had to slow it down to 60.
Slow down to 60.
Dude,
Let's go at
you're
80,
gonna die,
but
man. You're gonna fucking die.
I'm not going to fucking die. Don't be saying that fucking shit.
Dude, you're bringing it on yourself.
I am
I'm
not bringing it on myself.
I'm not bringing it
I can't hear you.
to you. I'm giving you a warning.
They got a state bank, but they can't fucking fund for some salt on the fucking roads.
Yeah.
That should be the first thing their fucking bank is funding. Some loans for fucking salt trucks. Well,
is my connection still shitty?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's in and out.
All right, fuck it. You want to wrap this up then?
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
wrap
I
this
ain't
up.
got much anyways.
All right. Well, that was fun. Well, we'll see y'all later.
Stay woke, my friends.
I gotta stomp my wipers again.